If you cannot afford the hand press yet, a manual snap setter is the way to go. And in this video, I am going to share with you everything I know in order to get it done the right way. The very first tool we are going to be needing obviously is the manual snap fastener setter right here, and I already separated them so we know which one goes with which. So first off, we have the post and the stud. So this right here with the little prong is the post, and it goes with the stud right here. Okay, so I have some scrap pieces here for me to show you all, so I'm going to quickly get that. So this right here is how it goes. This right here is the stud, and this is the post that goes behind the fabric, that goes on the wrong side of the fabric. So in order to set this, we are going to need this anvil right here. So this has a little bump in the middle, and this one right here goes behind the post, like so. Okay, so let me show you all. So the post sits on top of this anvil right here. And for the stud, it has to go with this tool right here. Okay, so this one has a hole in the middle, and with that, you set the stud. Okay, so you place the stud inside of this tool and it sticks. So can you see that right there? It stays, and you can use your hammer to set it in place. So now for the next part of the snap, we have our cap and our sockets. Okay, so the cap is the part that has this round section. This part is usually shown on the exterior of the bag, just like this. Let me show you all. So this part goes on the exterior of the bag right here. This is the cap, and the socket goes on the inside, the lining parts. Okay, so this is the socket right here. Can you guys see the hole in the middle? So this goes with the cap. Now in order to set it, we need to use this anvil right here. This has a hole cut out in the middle, a hole that is big enough to fit in the cap. And in order to set it, we need to fix it, the socket, we need to fix it into the cap like so. Then we use this tool right here, place it right inside of the hole that comes out of the cap. We place our hands on it, make sure it is straight, and we hit it with the hammer. So this once again is what it looks like, the stud and the post and the cap and the sockets. Let me put that out of the way and show you the other tools that we need. We are going to need something to punch our holes with, a rotary punch or a hand punch or whatever it is you want to use to punch your fabric. Then we are also going to use a mallet, or in my case, a household hammer. Now you do not want to use a rubber mallet because we do not want something that is going to bounce back. Okay, so we want something that is going to apply pressure and stick. I hope you all understand. We don't want something that's going to bounce back after we have hit it with our mallet. Okay, because fixing this thing is really tricky. So we want all of that goodness. Okay, and for the final part, we are going to be needing our fabric. So I highly recommend that you practice on a scrap piece of fabric first before doing it on the actual bag. Okay, now in some cases you are going to need to use washers, so you can cut washers out of scrap pieces of leather or fleece. If you want it to show, you can use scrap pieces of leather. If it's on the interior, you can use scrap pieces of fleece. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have enough bulk, because one of the secrets to setting this part right is to make sure you have enough bulk to work with. Okay, another thing that will set you up for success is your work table. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are using your mallet to punch on a sturdy table, a table that is fixed and does not shake. For me, I do not have that kind of table, so I do most of my punching on the floor. because obviously the floor is safer than the table. So if you have a sturdy work surface, good. But if you do not, please punch on the floor. Okay. So without further ado, let us get this tutorial started. The first thing I am going to do is that I am going to take my fabric and I am going to fold it in half like so. Then I am going to bring out my rotary punch and I am going to work with the appropriate mouthpiece that is going to punch me a hole of the size that I need. So I am just going to squeeze until I hear a click right there. So this right here is my hole and I am going to start with my posts. So from the back, the post goes on the back of your material, okay? So my post is set and I am going to fix in my stud. So this is how it goes, like so. But most times I like to pick it up with the tool. Then I get my anvil and I place it like so on my work surface or on the floor. Then I put my stud and I make sure that my post is centered in the middle of that bump. Okay, so you don't want it this way, you don't want it that way or any other way. You want to make sure that it is right on top of the bump, so the bump is inside of the post. So now I am going to place in my stud like so. I am going to take my hammer. So you want to make sure that it is nice and straight. Okay, you want to hold firmly and tight, nice and straight. Then you hit with the hammer. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the floor. The other side, after punching my hole, I am going to take in my cap. This goes on the exterior of the fabric or the bag you're working on. So I'm going to place it in so that it comes out on the interior like so. And I am going to take my sockets like so. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can see the middle of your cap. So this goes underneath or on the floor or on your work table. Make sure it is centered. Then I am going to take the tool right here and I am going to make sure that it is nice and centered. You want to make sure that it is straight. You want to make sure that it is not slanted in any way. Hold it nice and firmly. Make sure it is straight. Then take your hammer and you hit. So I'm going to go and do this on the floor right now. So I am here on the floor and it is time for me to punch. So remember, post to anvil, okay? You want to make sure that you are holding nice and tight and firmly, and you want to make sure that this is straight. So I'm just going to punch a couple of times until I feel like it is set. I am going to punch again. This part right here is the easiest part to punch, okay? Little too much. So this aside, I am going to bring the other parts. So once again, you want to hold nice and tight and you want to make sure it is firm. And I am going to hit this down a couple of times. So what I am going to do first is that I am going to test in order to see if this has been set nicely, because we need to avoid, can you guys see the bars that goes straight across? Once it gets pressed, your snap fastener is ruined and it may not set. So what I am going to do first is that I am going to test it to see if I set it right. Back on my work surface, y'all, and my snap fastener is set and ready to go. So this is the post and the stud. So as you can see, I hit it too much and it started to create a dent. So you don't want to do that. And this right here is the socket and the cap. So as you can see, that last punch made the bar crooked, but it still works. You do not want to hit your cap to the point where the bar starts to dent or break, because when it does, your snap fastener is ruined. If you've learned something so far, do not forget to like this video and also subscribe for more. So one thing you have to know is that the snap pressing tool comes in different forms, different styles, but they are generally shaped in the same way and they do the same thing. Now, if you live in the top floor of an apartment or your craft room is in the top floor of an apartment, you know that you may not be able to use this tool, because then you have to work on the floor if your table is not sturdy, or even if your table is sturdy, there is a limit to the way you eat things when you are on the top floor. Okay, so if you are not in the situation where you get to eat things, then you should invest in a pressing tool, the hand press. All the items that I used is linked in the description box. Do not forget to like and subscribe. It is absolutely free. Do that so that you can encourage us, appease the YouTube algorithm, and push this video out so people who need them can also see it.